Hey everyone, welcome back to TechOps tutorial. Today we are starting a foundation topic that often gets overlooked: what actually powers Linux. Now when most people hear Linux, they think of servers, terminals, or maybe just a penguin logo. But behind the scene, there is a rich history and powerful combination of ideas, people, and license that makes it what it is. In this video, we are going to explore 6 key pillars that powers Linux. We will answer questions like what exactly is a open source? Why does a GNU says it's not Unix? What's the deal with GNU Linux? Who are the free software foundations? And what is the GPL license and copyleft? And real world impact. We will also explore this impact's real world tool, job opportunities, and even a software security. Let's get started. Let's start with the foundation. What is open source? At its core, open source means source code is open to everyone to view, use, or modify and share. It's like a software version of being a transparent and collaborative. Let's break it down. Open to view. Anyone can inspect the source code, whether you are fixing a bug or just curious, and nothing is hidden. This transparency is a big reason why Linux is trusted on millions of servers. Change and share. You can modify the code, improve it, share your version freely. This freedom lets developers around the world contribute and innovate without needing a permission. Community driven. It's not built by one company. Open source projects often have thousands of contributors from different countries, companies, and backgrounds, all working together. Here is a simple analogy to make this crystal clear. Think of a public cake recipe. The recipe is shared openly. You can tweak it, maybe reduce the sugar or add more chocolates. You publish your version and other can benefit from your changes. That's how open source work. Everyone wins. Now compare with proprietary software. You get the final cake but not the recipe. You cannot see what went into it. You cannot change anything and you just have to trust the baker that it's safe and good. This is why open source is powerful. It gives freedom, trust, and control back to our developers and users. Whether you are a system admin managing an infrastructure or a developer writing an application, open source tool gives you flexibility that closed software just doesn't. And that's what powers Linux, a global community building together out in the open. Let's talk about something often misunderstood: free software. When you say free, we don't just mean it's cost nothing. We are talking about freedom, the kind that gives user control over the software they use. The Free Software Foundation defines 4 essential freedoms, and these are at the heart of the Linux and open source. Let's go through them one by one. Freedom to run. You can run the software for any purpose without restriction, whether you are running it on a personal laptop, in the cloud, or inside a Kubernetes pod. You are free to use it your way. Freedom to study. You can examine the source code to see how it works. This is the big deal for system admin and developers. You can audit it, tweak it, or just learn from it. Freedom to share. You are allowed to give copies to others. Found a great tool, you don't need a special permission to share it with your teams or community. Freedom to improve. You can modify the code, fix the bug, add features, and publish your improved version. That's how tools like Linux, Vim Editor, and even Kubernetes evolve. The community keeps improving them. Think of it like this: the software is like a recipe. You get the full recipe, means a source code. You are allowed to remix it, means modify, and you can reshare your version, just like we talked about in the cake analogy earlier. This freedom empowers user. drives innovation, and creates reliable, secure system. And that's why Linux and many DevOps tools are built on free software, because freedom fuels the progress. Let's clear up one of the biggest piece of Linux puzzle, GNU. So what is GNU? Its clever name, it stands for GNUs, not Unix. Yes, it defines itself. That's what we call a recursive acronymy. But joke aside, here is the serious part. GNU was started in 1983 by Richard Stallman. His mission was simple: to build a completely free operating system that respected user freedom, unlike the Unix system of that time, which were closed and proprietary. The primary goal of GNU was to create a free Unix-like operating system, and they did almost everything: tools, compilers, libraries, text editors, shells, you named it. Except one thing, the kernel. So they built most of the operating system, but it was missing a working kernel, the core part that talks to the hardware. Here is a perfect analogy to make it clear. Think of a car without ignition. You got the steering wheel, seats, tire, engine, everything, but you cannot start it. That's what GNU was like without a kernel. It had all the tools ready, but it could not boost on its own. That's where Linux came in. The kernel developed by Linux Torvalds in 1991. When GNU tools and the Linux kernel were combined, we finally had a fully functional, free and powerful operating system. That's why the full name is often called GNU Linux, because both parts matter. In the next slide, we will dig into that combination a bit more, but for now just remember, GNU gave us a tool, Linux gave us the engine. Together they power the system we use today. So now that we know what GNU is and what Linux is, let's put the pieces together and talk about GNU Linux. Back in 1991, Linus Torvalds created the Linux kernel, the core part of operating system that talks to the hardware. It was the missing piece that the GNU project needed. On one side you have a GNU tool like Bash, compiler, text editor and system utilities. These are essential for interacting with the system and writing or running the programs. On the other side you have a Linux kernel, the engine that manages the memory, process and devices. When you combine them, you get a complete operating system. GNU plus Linux equals to GNU Linux. Let's use a simple cooking analogy. GNU is the ingredients like a flour, sugar, butter. You need them to bake a cake. Linux is the oven. It bakes everything and make it work. Without ingredients, the oven is useless. Without oven, ingredients just sits there. Together they give you a fully baked operating system. A powerful, free, Unix-like operating system that runs server, clouds, desktop and more. So next time someone says Linux, remember it's GNU Linux under the hood. This combination is what powers most of the internet, DevOps tool and we use every day. Let's talk about the organization that's been defending software freedom since the 80s, the Free Software Foundation or FSF. It was founded in 1985 by Richard Stallman to support the GNU project and promote the idea that users should have control over the software they use. So what exactly does the FSF do? They advocate for a user right and software freedom. Basically, they push back against the idea that software should be locked down. They created and maintained the GPL license, which is a backbone of open source licensing today, and they promote ethical software practice, encouraging developers to build a software that respects user freedom. And they support GNU development, helping maintain all the essential tools we rely on in Linux system. Here is the core mission: keep computing free and open, help eliminate proprietary lock-in, educate people about why software freedom matters, not just for a developer but for the society as a whole. And globally, the FSF has made a huge impact. The GPL is the most widely used copyleft license in the world. It protects millions of projects from small utilities to entire operating system. It has even influenced legal framework that protects open source contribution. And as the FSF says, software freedom is the foundation of a free society. Let's break down two of the most important concepts in free software world, GPL and copyleft. GPL stands for General Public License. It's not just a license, it's a powerful tool that protects user and developer freedom. How? Through something called copyleft. That means you can use the code, modify it, and even share your version, but only if you also share your changes under the same license. Here is how copyleft works. You get the code, it's free to use. You modify it, make your own changes and improvements, and most importantly, you must share your version under the same terms so the freedom continues. Think of it like a bike sharing. You get a free bike, ride it, no problem. You add gears or lights, customize it however you like. But when you are done, you share that improved bike with everyone else. Now compare that to a traditional software license that says all right reserved, meaning no sharing, no changes, and you are locked in. But GPL flips that, all rights reserved. It requires you to share, keeping the code free and open for all. Final thought, GPL is equals to freedom, protected by the requirement to give back. It's the reason why open source projects like Linux, Bash, and GCC stay free and keep evolving. Up next, we will look at a real example of how open source changed the tech world, so don't miss it. Let's clear up a common confusion. Free software and open source are not the same. Even though they often share the same code, free software, as seen by the Free Software Foundation, is driven by ethics and user rights. It's a philosophical movement that puts freedom first, the freedom to use, study, share, and modify software. On the other hand, open source takes a more practical approach. It focuses on collaboration, development efficiency, and business friendliness. The goal is to improve software quality through open contribution. You can think of them as a two sides of same coin. One side stands for freedom and ethics, and the other for practicality and collaboration. Even though the motivation are different, the code is often identical. Think GNU Linux, Apache, and many others. In the end, both movements play a major role in strengthening the global software ecosystem. A common myth says open means less secure. The argument is, if anyone can see the code, they can also find vulnerability. But the reality is quite the opposite. More eyes on the code means bugs are found and fixed faster. Open source relies on peer review, transparency, and community-driven updates, not hidden work. There is a well-known phrase in the open source world, many eyes makes all bugs shallow. With thousands of developers reviewing the code, bugs don't hide for long and quick patch follows. The open source security process looks like this. Community review catches the issue earlier. Transparency reporting ensures everyone is informed. Collaborative fixes happens in the open, and rapid development delivers update fast. Transparency plus community is equals to a stronger security. Let's talk about the license behind open source project. They decide what you can and cannot do with the code. MIT license is the most permissive. You can do almost anything you want, modify it freely, even use it commercial products, no sharing required. Apache 2.0 is like MIT but adds patent protection. clear contribution rules, it's enterprise friendly. BSD license is also simple and permissive. It's used by Apple and in academic project, has a minimal restriction and is perfect for clean reuse. Now contrast that with the GPL license. This one protects software freedom. You must share your changes. It enforces the copyleft rule and ensure the code stay free for everyone. So it boils down to two main types: permissive like MIT, Apache, BSD, take and use freely, and the second is copyleft like GPL, share improvements. To make it easy, MIT is like saying here is the code, do what you like. GPL says here is the code, but if you improve it, share it too. Both have their place in the open source world. Let's look at how open source is powering the real world around us. From the server in data center to the apps in our phones, Linux is everywhere. Linux runs on more than 96% of web server. It's the foundation of major cloud platforms like AWS, GCP. It also found in embedded system and IoT devices, from smart thermostat to industrial routers. Whether it's a web application or a home automation system, Linux is often under the hood. WordPress GPL license. Over 40% of website today runs on WordPress. It's open source, built under the GPL license and used for everything from personal blog to e-commerce website. Its massive plugin ecosystem and community support make it go-to change for web development. Popular desktop app. Open source is not limited to a backend system. Desktop application like GIMP for graphics editing, VLC for media playback, and LibreOffice for office tasks are widely used across Linux and Windows. These are powerful, free alternatives to proprietary tools. Android, the world's most used mobile operating system, is based on Linux kernel. It runs over 3 billion devices and holds about 71% of mobile market. So technically, if you use any Android phone, you are using Linux every day, whether you realized it or not. DevOps powerhouses, all open source. Many tools that DevOps engineer and system admin rely on daily are open source, like Ansible, used for configuration management and automation. Simple YAML syntax make it beginner friendly. Terraform helps define cloud infrastructure as a code and it widely adopted in production. Kubernetes manages and scales the containerized application. It's the standard in modern cloud native environment. Each of these has tens of thousands of GitHub stars and strong community support. In short, open source is not just a niche, it's the backbone of today's IT infrastructure, development workflow, and even consumer devices. One of the biggest strengths of open source is the power of its community, a global force that consistently drives improvements, innovations, and reliability. Global contributors. Open source projects are built by people from all over the world, not just coders but also designers working on UI UX, testers identifying the bugs and improving the qualities, and of course developers writing and reviewing the code. Millions contributes in a different ways, bringing diverse idea and skills into every release. Peer review process. Every changes in open source project goes through a well-structured peer review. It starts with an idea. Someone writes a code. The community helps review it. Finally, it gets merged into the project. With more eyes on the code, the end result is usually more stable and secure. It's like a code quality insurance powered by the community. Wikipedia for code. You can think of open source like Wikipedia for software. Anyone can contribute, beginners or expert. It always evolving. Changes are community driven, not controlled by any one company. and collective knowledge make it globally powerful. Fast innovation. Because open source never sleeps, codes gets written and reviewed 24 by 7, bugs are fixed quickly, releases happen frequently, and parallel innovation means multiple improvements can happen at the same time. This pace of development would be hard to match in closed proprietary environments. In short, open source thrives not just because of the code, but because of the people behind it. Let's break down how Linux distribution or distro are actually built. Core components. At the heart of every Linux distro, there are three main parts: Linux kernel, GNU tools, package manager. Linux kernel. This is the engine. It licensed under GPL and is the core system that manages hardware and resources. GNU tools. These include essential utilities like Bash, GCC, and system libraries like glibc. Think of this as the command line tools and system utilities. Package manager. This is what helps install, update, and remove the software. Example includes apt, yum, or pacman. Let's see a car analogy. To simplify, the kernel is the engine. It powers the system. The GUnit tools are like the dashboard. They are how you interact with the system. Together they make a fully functional car, or in this case, a working GNU Linux system. Assembly line process. Here is how a Linux distro is built. Start the Linux kernel, add the GNU tools for user interaction, plug in a package manager to handle the apps and updates. This combo gives you a complete and usable Linux distro. Popular distribution. Even though all distros shares the same base, the Linux kernel and GUnit tools, they vary in packaging and philosophy. Ubuntu focus on user friendliness and use apt for package management. Fedora, a cutting-edge distro that use yum or DNF. Arch Linux, a great for advanced users who want a full control, and it uses Paceman. All these distros may look and feel different, but under the hood, they are built on the same Linux plus GNU foundation. Open source does not always start open. Many of today's most impactful tools were once proprietary. Let's look at how and why they made the shift. The browser revolution. Back in 1998, Netscape made a bold move by open sourcing its browser code. This gave a birth to a Mozilla project and eventually Firefox, a fully open source browser that still thrives today. Next is Microsoft shift. Even Microsoft, once critical of open source, has transformed. In 2016, it released PowerShell and VS Code as an open source tool. Today, both are widely adopted by developers across platforms. This was not just a symbolic gesture, it was a part of broader open source strategy. The container era. Google's internal system called Borg, which managed the container at a scale, became the foundation of Kubernetes. In 2014, they open sourced Kubernetes under the CNCF and it quickly became the industry standard for container orchestration. Timeline of major shift. In 1998, Netscape to Mozilla. 2014, Google open source Kubernetes. 2016, Microsoft embarks open source. And now we are in the era of continuous open source transformation across companies and industries. How the transformation happens. Going open source is not just uploading code to a GitHub. It's a process. Strategic decision, often driven by business goals or community demand. License change, a legal shift to an open source license. Code releases, making the code publicly available. Community involvement. Developers contribute, adapt, and improve the project. Innovation. With more input, the ecosystem grows faster. What we see in the open source is not just a tech choice anymore. It's a strategic shift that leads to a faster innovation, wider adoption, and strong ecosystem. Let's quickly go through what we have learned. Open source means you can view, modify, and share code freely. It's transparent and community driven. Free software is about user freedom, not just zero cost, giving you a full control over your software. GNU provides essential system tool, while GNU Linux combines those tools with a Linux kernel to create a complete OS. GPL ensures software stay free by enforcing share alike rights. OS's impact is huge. It powers the modern infrastructure, DevOps workflow, and global innovation. In short, Linux is not just a software, it's a global movement built on freedom, collaboration, and community. Linux is more than just an operating system, it's a global movement. It brings together a worldwide community, drives innovation, and creates a lasting impact on technology and careers. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next tutorial.